crowd and still they cast away. Alienated from the aims of that inventor in disguise. Ideas ahead of time dismissed with narrow eyes. Benefactor boy, dreaming about the world you can't deploy. Changing the system, but treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brilliance is his boy. Benefactor boy, can't you hear his voice? Talking love 0 point, the points lost on them. Kevin structures crumbling from the same old Sam. They laugh like I'm crazy, but I see it all so clear. Exploited labor, unheard injustice, burning ears. Fighting for a change in this wasteland of noise. But they call me foolish, wanting shed boys. Benefactor boy, dreaming about the world he can't deploy. Changing the system, but treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brains is his boy. Benefactor boy, can't you hear his voice? Chasing revolutions in the darkest nights. A dreamer with vision beneath the laughter and noise. A future so bright waiting for the right choice. Benefactor boy, dreaming about the world he can't deploy. Changing the system, but treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brains is his boy. Benefactor boy, can't you hear his voice?
The secret circuits unraveling through the miles. Oh, truth was masked by golden curtains. You didn't know we're shattering the silence. Feel the power. Revelations on the rise. The shadows, light emerges, breaking through the veils of dark. 0 points and gravities that converge, yeah. Dying voices, revelations start. Ancient whispers call. They're begging us to open our eyes. We stand tall, defying all their lies. Even in shattering the silence, feel the power. Revelations on the rise. Forbidden knowledge we dare to see. Unveiling secrets, setting us free. In this epic, we play our part with fierce hearts. You didn't know we're shattering the silence. Feel the power. Revelations on the rise.
Secrets and shadows, true quest to follow. Ancient designs, all lost to time. Eyes of the blind, rulers of kind. Knowledge unknown, locked in their throne. Tear the veil from the lies, truth will rise. Break the chains from our minds free.
In the depths of the unknown, radio waves like dark shows, mysteries unrepacked and shown. Solutions defy what we know, hidden truths we're never alone. Follow me down the rabbit hole, secrets and binding codes, breaking the mold, define control. Power bursts without a soul in this digital catacomb. We spread the truth of the truly bold. Epics we uncover, forbidden undercover. Rise against the silence, breaking through defiance. Energy from the ether flow, quantum realms, the science of flow. Whispers from ancients echo, gravity's unhooked, let's go. Beyond the reach of their woe, slowly with you ever come, bridge the gaps, all light shows. Pioneer, on we roll, past the famous Saint Show. This is all been our road. Epics we uncover, forbidden undercover. Rise against the silence, breaking through defiance. Synth waves crashing, hearts collide. Revolution of the mind. Let the codes and truths unwind. Illumination find. Epics we uncover, forbidden undercover. Rise against the silence, breaking through defiance.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Free Energy Fridays pre-game show. I'm your host, the Benefactor. And as you all know, we try to give you a little bit extra. So on the pre-game show, we're going to give you a little bit extra. A couple extra hours of some extraordinary inventions from some extraordinary people. We're going to go over a couple of videos, and also I'm going to show you how to tune the coil, the DragonSeven Coil that I'm using for Mark 1. I'm going to show you how to tune it with the magnetic rotary and the process that Michelle and I have been using. Basically mimicking Daniel's process, but with a little tweak here and there for our system to get it optimal. Now, as you'll see in the video that I'm about to show you, we managed to get it from 24 watt consumption on the wall down to 14, and we reduced the input requirement by 10 watts. That's pretty significant. But as you'll see today, I have something even more extraordinary for you. As I increased the power a little bit, and we got like an extremely large amount of efficiency back. So be prepared to go beyond the fringes here of conventional science. So with that said, I'm going to show you some of the data that I've been collecting with the Lightning Thief. And before we get into going over the green machine, which is what I'll be using for our magnetic rotary, and we're trying to tweak the system and get it to be the most efficient for the consumer model that's going to be hopefully out next year, late 2025. Now give me a second and I'll load up a video for you. I believe it's this one. Nope. Give me one more second. That one is the wrong one. Right video, but wrong edit. It's the raw version. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to share the screen and just watch it like that. What's going on, Mike? How you doing? Good to have you here with us today. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the little emojis. They're pretty fun. I'm hoping to unlock some more. I have some more prepared, so we got a few more that's not that aren't available currently. I think I have like Victor Sears and Gerald and all those good fellas. Low volume. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, so we do have a bunch more emojis prepped as we unlock more. As we get more members, we will unlock more of those. And as I was saying, we have Victor Sears, Gerald, and you know, a couple of fun ones I have prepared for you guys. All right, where is this video? There it is. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. Window capture. Media player. Yes. All right, everybody. Here's something really cool. We have the stereo method hooked up right now. 10 volts from our power supply at 140 milliamps. Okay, we're gonna spin this little neodymium magnet and we're gonna monitor the wattage. Okay, oh, you gotta show it. There we go. Okay. So, 7.3 because we don't have it on. We're gonna turn it up. Check this out. Okay, let me take that. I'm gonna take the
This is
magnet
insane.
out
When I
first.
saw this, I was like,
I'm gonna
what
turn it on.
the F?
I'm turning it up. Look at the watt consumption.
Okay, so it takes 24
24
watts to
watts.
run it.
Okay. Now watch this.
At full, I upped the gain all the way. So the
We're gonna put the
Volume
neodymium
knobs all
magnet
the way
in there, spin it up, increase the frequency.
Hey, what's up, Crypto? Good to have you here, buddy. This is a momentous occasion. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
And it goes back up, 24. We saved 10 watts of power by spinning this thing.
Holy crap. Holy crap is right, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap is absolutely right. That is, as extraordinary as that was to have witnessed, we have something even more extraordinary to show you tonight as I demonstrate and go through the process, the operation of the order of operation, the oops as I like to call it, the order of operation for tuning your magnetic rotary. Crypto is currently suffering from stomach flu. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope that you have a speedy recovery. You will get nothing but good vibes from me here at Beneficence TV to help expedite your recovery. And I'm sure everybody in the chat will send their positive vibes as well. So send your positive vibes out to Crypto. He is suffering and in some dire need of our prayers. So with that said, I am going to open a window and just go through the process, the order of operations for tuning the magnetic rotary. All right. Oh, wait, no, Victor is in here. Yeah, I forget which ones I had selected at first. So I have a few of them already. Yeah, there's Victor. There he is. Victor Sears. Hopefully he's back with us soon. I think Nathan is hosting the League of Extraordinary Inventors tonight. I think that's what's going on. I have to get a quick update on that. Alright, so we're going to go through some of this data. A lot of it's outdated at this point, so we're not going to... Yes, he is currently live. I think he's trying to do his own, pregame show and give his members some extra content, which is always a good thing. We try to give you guys a little bit of extra stuff, a little bit extra, and variety too, because, as we all know, variety is the spice of life. So, I'm not going to make this all about my updates. If we have time, we're obviously going to jump into some cool videos that I discovered from Dr. Greer. And I want you guys to take a look at maybe some videos we can dig up on YouTube on the mainstream websites regarding free energy, if there's anything to cover on that front. All right. Let me bring this up. All right, so how to tune your coil in fine resonance. All right. If I have time, and if you guys want, we can go over the process of tuning the Lightning Thief. But tonight, we're going to focus on the magnetic rotary. All right. So using this method, we will be finding out the resonant frequency first, and then determining our inductance by working backwards. So if we're using the lightning thief to find our resonance, then we can use this formula and work backwards, right? And when I did that, I found that I was getting approximately 4.38 millihenries of inductance. So the formula for finding your resonant frequency of an LC circuit is frequency equals 1 over 2 times pi times the square root of L times C. So L is your inductance in henries, and C is your capacitance in farads. Okay, it's very simple, but if you're dealing with millihenries or microfarads, you will have to adjust that. So there's part of the equation that can easily be adjusted with a negative exponential. Anyways, so the magnetic rotary tuning. We start by using the closed circuit speaker method. Okay, so the closed circuit speaker method is this method on the left, right here. So, as you guys know, who have been following along with my live broadcasts and my research, reverse engineering the PoE vortex coils of one-stop energies, this is the infamous diagram that we've been going off of, right? So before we were focusing on the right circuit, which is the open circuit method. I call it the Nunez method. It really is an amazing method for achieving the maximum resonance of your system, and by doing it this way, you can actually resonate your load with the whole system as well. So it's basically achieving a higher level of LC circuit here on the right. But on the left, tonight we're going to be focusing on the other circuit, which is the closed circuit method. Now notice there is no load attached to this method. This method is used for magnetic rotaries and using it for a speaker for a home theater system. It has some really anomalous effects regarding audio. The audio at specific frequencies can sound like it's coming from different directions. With the proper parabola type attachment, like to reflect or amplify the sound in a correct way. It's very interesting. We're going to do experiments with the home theater system at a later date, but tonight we're going to focus on the magnetic rotary. And I'm going to show you the very simple process of how to tune it and how to get it to synchronize with that fast spinning electromagnetic field generated with your coil. Now, excuse me. Now, the thing is, we are not using a traditional rotary tonight. We're using a simulated rotary with a neodymium sphere. And this will show us what our maximum potential is, basically, for reducing the input power requirements for our system. And tonight, before I went live, I tested it real quick to make sure it worked, and it was working amazing. So we will show you that shortly. But notice that the end of channel A, in my system, that's the black wire, is connected to the start of channel B, and in my system, that's the yellow wire. So I have A start is red, and then black, and then B start is yellow, and then green for the end. So very simple. I color-coded it for that reason, so it's very easy to follow along. So, but if you have been following along, this is why I did that, so it's easy to see exactly what's going on with my system when I have it running and I'm explaining it. It's a little bit easier to understand when you color code your ends, because there's 4 of them and it gets confusing. So here's just a different older, looks like it was hand drawn on a whiteboard version of the same, but it's got some extra details. And these details are very interesting, and I'd like to note a couple of them, because with the closed circuit method here, this is producing vibration or spin, right? And it's not really clear. It wasn't really clear to me, at least until now, what that was referring to. And that's referring to spinning. In my opinion, I think this is spinning a magnetic rotary. So this is the method that Daniel obviously was using to spin his magnetic rotary systems. Okay, you get vibration and spin with a magnet here. This is how you get your monopole. Okay, if you want to get a synthetic monopole and, demonstrate it in front of your colleagues and show them, yeah, a magnetic monopole is possible, ladies and gentlemen, and you can use it to drive a magnetic rotary and significantly reduce the input requirement power for that system while doing so. Yes, this is the perfect setup. It's very easy to do. And what we have here is also a perfect system for heat. Okay, so we get heat with this system because it's a closed circuit system. Okay, we're using the hot energy, right? We're not really utilizing the back EMF from the system, so to speak. We're utilizing the back EMF from the magnetic rotary, right? So it's a little bit different. I'm not exactly sure the details. Nathan might be able to explain it a little bit better than I could. But essentially, we're using a hot form of this circuit. And then with the open circuit, it is obviously utilizing a cold form of the circuit, which has no vibration or spin. You can't pick up any pole. No matter what power you set it at, you can increase that freaking thing all the way up to 120 volts and 10 amps, and you're not going to detect any kind of pole. So, yeah, that zero pole detection, self-cooling for this one. Inductive heating, they say, for this one as well. So we're going to have to test the two. I was under the impression that we're going to use the closed circuit for inductive heating, but we'll obviously have to test the two against each other and see which one works, if we can get, even if we can get, assuming we can get both of them to work. So, and also on the right circuit, the open circuit, you get an inverse wattage with wireless transfer. So, what that means is when you transfer energy wirelessly with this open circuit, the wattage consumption goes down. So kind of like this one, where you're spinning the magnetic rotary and the wattage consumption goes down. This one, you're actually powering a small, LED using the wireless induction method from coil to coil, using a pickup coil of some sort. And you look at your, input wattage meter, and it's going down when you put that pickup coil close and it's lighting the LED. It's very interesting. You would expect it to go up, right? If anything, because it's using more energy, but it's actually going down for some reason. Okay, so that's playing into the energy gains, and also be aware that the open circuit method does utilize high voltage that has the potential to output enormous amounts of ozone. So be very careful with that. All right. So we're going to go back down. And as you'll see here, this is our green machine on the bottom. Again, it is not actually green yet, but the green machine is green in more than name. It is actually green in function. So obviously it is utilizing some kind of renewable energy. All right, let's see here. Oh, cool, you can see it. Resistors will heat up. It's best to lower voltage. Yes. Yeah, we had to get, for the Lightning Thief, we had to get 2-watt resistors for that specific purpose. The voltage is just so high. It'll burn through those, like a 1/4 watt resistors you get in those small kits. So here we have the, and again, some of this data is outdated, but this is, I'll be going through the important stuff here. And this is the important, one of the important graphs. So we have a runtime comparison of our Lightning Thief, which you can see here at the top. There's the 2 that I have at the moment built. So the runtime comparison for the coil on the Lightning Thief versus an inverter, which is basically just a straight up DC to AC 120 volt car inverter that I got and snipped the end off and attached it to the LED panel, okay, and the battery. So what I did was basically run 2 tests. I ran the LED panel with the coil in Lightning Thief, and I ran 1 test with the inverter, and those 2 tests are running on a 12-volt battery. So we're using the same 12-volt battery for both tests. But the frustrating thing was because the inverter doesn't really have any power regulation. Like the coil is it just naturally regulates everything as a system when you get it in resonance, right? It does that. And it's really interesting. You'll see some interesting effects as it stabilizes and saves itself power by stabilizing and self-regulating in a lot of different areas once you get that system in resonance. But the inverter, it just, right up to 100%. And, accounting for the slight efficiency loss that we have with inverters, on average, the most efficient inverters on the market are 90%. So you have at least 10% loss. We measured 96%. So we had a measurable 4% loss. But still, even at 90%, assuming, like making that assumption, for, correction factors and margin of errors and all that, we are going to come out on top. We just are. When we adjust, using the power factor equations as well, adjusting these 2 tests to adjusting the inverter, specifically the inverter test, from 100%, bringing it down to 3.3% and seeing what that system would last on from the data we collected at 100%, and adjusting for the power factor, which is the duty cycle, we can gauge that our system is still coming out on top with at least 50% more efficiency than 100%, which is incredible, right? I mean, this is all unverified. We have to have Michelle and other people replicate this, but it's very cool. And the system itself ran for like 3 days with 3.3% brightness. And then I had the dual coil, the dual thief system. And as some of you know, I ran that recently, and we got that to last about 25 hours with twice as much brightness, at least twice as much brightness. So that was very incredible, because that still brings us out on top Above 100%, around 24, like 124%, you know, like a COP of 1.2. And even with all the margin of errors and you know, potential corrections that we can account for, this still brings us to at least a COP of 1, or at least 1. At least 1. That's very significant. Okay, and you see the adjusted power and runtime comparison, you know, when adjusted for the duty cycles and all that. This is the efficiency we get with the inverter on the right. It's kind of hard to see. We'll go into another graph in a second to show you. And the left is a lot more efficient. You're getting a lot less loss. Less loss. That's hard to say. There it is. Okay, so here on the right, again, is the inverter. And this is the loss that you get with the inverter. All right, input versus output. The input is light blue, the output is green. Look at all that loss compared to, we're getting at least half, it looks like, just visually, just eyeballing it. But yeah, no, we're getting a lot more efficiency from the coil, even when it's adjusted for the same power level. Now, this isn't a perfect test. It isn't an ideal test. It isn't an apples to apples test. I call it the apples to orange test because we have to adjust the power level here. But we will be attempting to do an apples to apples test as soon as I figure out how to get that panel lit 100% with the Lightning Thief, which I believe is 100% possible. So some of the interesting things about these systems is that, like I've said earlier, is they self-regulate. And what you'll see in the green machine here is that it kind of, once you get the magnetic rotary in sync with the electromagnetic field generated, it really just, it regulates the input and just reduces it, right? And we've seen this with a lot of different systems with, you know, rodent coils and ABHA coils, vortex coils, but I'd never seen it like I've seen it tonight. Not at the rate that we're seeing. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to switch my camera over to the mini lab, and I'm going to go through the process of how to tune your magnetic rotary, okay? And we're going to tune the magnetic rotary, and I'm going to demonstrate the input reduction that this system is capable of doing. And keep in mind, while it's doing this, it's able to wirelessly induce energy as well. So while we can't really attach a load to the system while doing this, because that would mess up the magnetic rotary, what we can do is attach a load wirelessly with a pickup coil. I haven't tried that, but we will probably do that in the near future, maybe tonight if I'm feeling up to it. But that said, we're going to go to a quick intermission while I get ready, get the camera ready for the mini lab. All right.
Mike does cracks the code tonight. Oh yeah, that's true. Wires and circuits to shine in neon lights. Oh yeah, seen you creating power from the air. These smiles and delights. Oh yeah. Mike does it right. Hey. Mike does all Mike is the one. Teaching us knowledge, lighting the sun. Trumpeting his legacy alive is his. Mike does knows we're his biggest friends. Down in the basement, secrets start to glow. Oh yeah. With Nathan Turlough in the
us knowledge, blinding the sun. Trumpeting his legacy alive, his hands. Mike does knows we're his biggest fans. Years of thought, bringing dreams to life, turning theories into electric light. Mike and us, a journey to ignite. Oh yeah, yeah. We've reached new heights. Hey. Mike us, oh Mike is the one, teaching us knowledge, lighting the sun. Trumpeting his legacy alive, his hands. Mike does knows we're his biggest fans.
Feel the pulse, divine sensation. Everyone needs just a little foundation. Feel the pulse, divine sensation. Everyone needs just a little salvation. In the glow of starry sky. majestic moments in cosmic flight. Holding on to stars of starlight. There's a light within the dark waves, guided by echoes of ancient ways. Unify our reflection. With every beat there's a connection. Feel the pulse, divine sensation. Everyone feels the goodness of our invitation. There's a light within the dark waves, guided by echoes of ancient ways. Unify our reflection. With every beat there's a connection. Feel the pulse, divine sensation.
All right. So, we have the Mark 1 coil, the DragonSeven frame, on top of our pedestal there, the main pedestal, the big one, on the left. And on the right, you see we have the green machine, which basically just has a mini stereo amp board connected to it, a Drox AB 40 watt dual channel. This is a great board if you're going to be experimenting with this kind of stuff, or if you want to build your own green machine and you don't want to wait for the consumer rollout. Again, everything has been open sourced. Go on my channel and peruse for all those amazing open sourced ideas. All right. And we also have our input frequency for our frequency generator with the laptop. Okay. And I'm going to quickly go over what I'm about to do because the microphone is a little wonky. With the lab set up, I have to kind of intermittently stop and then talk into the mic. So what I'm going to do right now is just describe the process first so that you're not confused right off the bat. As you've seen in the video, though, what we're going to do is take a look at the Wattman on the wall, which is plugged in to the wall, and then plugged into the Wattman is our power supply, okay? Our workbench power supply, which is used or being used to power our green machine. So with the stereo closed circuit method hooked up and the circuit on and the neodymium sphere in the vortex of the coil, again, we have to use a glass container as well for this experiment. I will explain that further in a little bit. But we start by using the closed circuit speaker method. Introduce the coil to a low frequency. I recommend 7.83 Hertz, the Schumann resonance. And let it saturate in that frequency. Sometimes I give it, a few seconds to a minute or two.
and I'll increase the power until it starts to spin a little bit, and give it that time to saturate in that field and maybe synchronize. If it's at the right power level, it should. So, but again, you want to put in as little power as possible. You don't want to, boost the power right away. You want to start out with as little power as possible to get that to spin. All right. Leave it for a few seconds in that Schumann resonance, saturate it, let it synchronize, and then ramp up the frequency fast and steady, but not too fast. And if you hit a cutoff, notate the frequency that happened at, then try again, only this time slow down your ramping speed and stop before the frequency cutoff point. Now, once you have done that, we slowly but steadily speed up 1 hertz at a time as high as we can go. So once you hit that cutoff, you know where it's going to cut off at, and we have to start the process again, but we stop ramping it up before that cutoff. So, and it should still spin, right? It should, if you're doing it correctly, it'll continue to spin even though you're not changing the frequency, right? And then once that happens, you're going to slowly increase the frequency 1 hertz at a time. Okay, slowly but steadily. Again, if you have imperfections in your coil, getting to the right frequency might be the wrong frequency and make the sphere kind of stop or lose its synchronicity with the electromagnetic field. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the highest frequency possible, as close to your resonant frequency as possible for your coil, once you have that with the lightning thief tuning method. And then you'll stop it at that frequency and then monitor the input difference. Yeah, the idea is to get as close to the resonant frequency as possible. And we'll take a look at my new results. So check this out. All right. So, actually, I can't do this. All right. So, here we have the green machine. Okay? Toggle switch, volume/power knob for our electromagnetic field. The more we pump the power up, the stronger this field is going to get, faster that's going to spin. So what we're going to do, turn on the power supply, which is powering the green machine, pump up the gain all the way, get that sphere to spin at 7.83 hertz. Then we're going to get it to spin faster, ramp it up as high as it'll go. And the cutoff for us is around 50 hertz. So we're going to stop it around 48 hertz. Then we're going to slowly but steadily increase it 1 hertz at a time. And I'm going to get it to go to 100. And when I do that, I'll show you the wattage before, but then we'll show you the wattage after on the Wattman.
let's toggle it on. Make sure it's down first. Okay, it's on. Okay. So it works. So now I'm going to take that out and I'm going to show you on the Wattman what the power consumption is from the wall when I turn this all the way up. See, notice this goes up because it's, you know, requiring power to work. So we're going to do that. Okay. .7 because it's not up, so I'm going to turn it up all the way. I'm going to turn it down again so you can see the amperage goes down. And then that goes back down. So we're getting about 35 watts to power this thing when we turn it all the way up. All right, so let's do it with the sphere and monitor it again. Okay, slowly increasing. We're at 70 hertz. Okay, we're at 100. Let's check the input. Try to push it a little more. Oh, it just died. And what? Oh wow, went back up. Ha ha ha. You see that? It's not spinning anymore.
Incroyable.
Notice, the green machine saved us 68% of our input requirement. 68% of our input requirement was reduced. Oh yeah, boy! Bam! So these coils work. And if you notice, up here, we have the lightning thief working with the Christmas coil. So that's working right there. The Christmas coil off of this 12-volt battery. That's been running for, I don't know, a day and a half. Pretty cool. Hey, old man Bill's coming in with the emoji attack. What's going on, Nathan? Appreciate it. Yeah, so we went from 38 watts to 13 watts. 12.7. What the F? That was really significant. And all we did was increase the input power a little bit and put a little bit more juice to the board. That's it. Really cool. Maybe we'll try it from the battery. I'd have to fully charge the battery first. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you have any ideas of what we could try next, I can't really do too much with the magnetic rotary at the moment due to the sound aspect of the test. But we can definitely run some more tests with the green machine or with the lightning thief. If not, we can move on to our video segment of the evening. So Mike says restore the battery. All right, so maybe while we're watching the videos, we can hook the battery up to the charger real quick and get it fully charged and juiced up. If you would like me to try that test with the battery instead of the power supply. You want to see the spinning magnet ball again? Okay, yeah, I can run it one more time. Definitely. I'm going to try increasing the power slightly. Alright, we ramped it up and now we slowed it down, but it's still steadily increasing. Wow, it's still spinning. Holy crap. Then it goes back up to 49, 50 watts. Because we increased the power a little bit. That's crazy. So maybe there's a sweet spot there. Got it to go to 129 before it cut off that time. Okay, let's do it one more time. I want to get it to go up high. Alright, let's try to get it back, go back up that high. One hertz. Watts. That's fucking insane. 47. We got 47 watts to go down to 15, 16 watts at 121 hertz. I'm going to run it one more time. $127 it cut out at. Darn it. It didn't seem like it went very much farther past 15 watts though. So it stopped around 15 watts on the input. From 47. 46, 47. Wow. When I take this out, I'm sure it'll be... $46. Yep. And see, this goes back up to reflect what we saw in the Wattman. Absolutely incredible. Wattman showed 46 on the input before we were spinning this thing to power the green machine. We started spinning it, got it to 121 hertz, reduced it to 16 watts. Ladies and gentlemen, we beat our current record. All right, that's the green machine. It will be available sometime in late 2025. So I'm seeing a lot of positive things in chat. Thank you very much for the positive comments. Old Man Build says nice. Yes, nice. That's a huge reduction in input requirement from 46 watts to 15. WTF, ladies and gentlemen, WTF. Once again, some fringe forbidden science here on Beneficence TV. And with that, we are going to go to another quick intermission while I get ready for our video segment of the evening, which is us just checking out some of the updates from Dr. Greer in some of the recent clips that he has released. And also, if we have time, we can also search maybe some mainstream news websites to see if they have any information regarding free energy that has come out in recent time. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. Yes, Charles, I appreciate it. Society of High Sciences, you guys are all awesome. Mike does. Nathan from Old Man Builds. Shout out to everybody. Before the coil is fully saturated, the ions can be shifted. Yeah. It's definitely a significant find here. I've never seen a watt reduction quite like that before. At least not that I've seen from any videos online regarding any experiments done with these coils. The only video that I saw was Daniel Nunez demonstrating a 1 watt reduction. So he went from 5 watts to 4 watts. And that was, significant in its own right. But this is just ridiculous. Holy crap. Holy crap, WTF. We are going to go to intermission, and then when we come back, some Stephen Greer updates and the League of Extraordinary Inventors, all on your Free Energy Fridays. Stay tuned on Beneficence TV.
Treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brilliance is his point. Benefactor boy, can't you hear his voice? Talking about 0 point, the points lost on them. Kevin structures crumbling from the same old stem. They laugh like I'm crazy, but I see it all so clear. Exploited labor, unheard, injustice burning ears. Fighting for a change in this wasteland of noise. But they call me foolish, wanting shed boys. Benefactor boy, dreaming about the world begins to boy. Changing the system, but treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brilliance is his boy. Benefactor boy, can't you hear his voice? Revolutions in the darkest nights. A dreamer with vision beneath the laughter and noise. A future so bright waiting for the right choice. Benefactor boy, dreaming about the world he can't deploy. Changing the system, but treated like a toy. Ideas misunderstood, but brilliance is his boy. Benefactor boy.
the depths of shadowed halls, I wandered all alone, casting whispers, binding chains, demons of my own. Toxic deafening, now spread on my frail soul. I once filled my mirror, haunted by my role. But in the echoes of my cries, just still I emerge, guiding me to where my true is observed. Now I rise from the shadows, with wings of fire I ascend, free from the chains of sorrow, all these paths are forever defend. Shattered glass beneath my feet, scars I wear but dry. Stormy night just turned to dawn, where truth that's my guide. Anxiety's dissolved in the sun's golden rays. See my destiny through time and space. The fears that once consumed me now they take. For in my heart a new world is proclaimed. Now I rise from the shadows, with wings of fire I ascend, free from the chains of sorrow, on this path I forever depend. With symmetry I found the power, blessings granted by the hour. Together we will carve the way. Revolution calls and I'm not strong. Now I rise from the shadows, with wings of fire I ascend, free from the chains of sorrow, on this path I forever depend. In the depths of his oppression, it's the rise of a true nation.
In a lab with dreams ignite, Lulu's mind is taking flight. Bouncing equations, there's a plan she designs, unlocking secrets where the cosmos aligns. I say let's reach the stars, with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing, our destinies collide. Knowledge, wisdom, a peek in the dark, juggling studies and life igniting the spark. Every calculation, every moment's so grand. She's building the future with her guiding hand. Every shift she's closer to the night. Family won't she find strength to find. I say let's reach the stars, with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing, our destinies collide. Through every challenge she won't lose sight. Her passion shines, a star in the night. With every step the future stars, the biggest hit of life. Our take is the light of the stars. I say let's reach the stars with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing our destinies collide. I say let's reach the stars with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing our destinies collide. I say let's reach the stars with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing our destinies collide. I say let's reach the stars with knowledge as our guide. In this universe we're tracing our destinies
In the lab, Gerald's working night and day. Mystic gadgets in magnetic ballet. Circles of power aligning destiny's way. Running those rings, they defy gravity. Critics working out, they don't bother heat. In his domain, Gerald sets the world free. Lord of the Rings, pretty strong. Proving the currents if you're wrong. Electromagnetic symphony. Gerald and crash destiny. Free and phony cheat from his fingertips. Inspiration study top of scripts. Geometric secrets, discovery can flip. Look our king in his rebel stead. Building up for the world again. Lighting up the dark, igniting every zen. Lord of the Rings, really strong. Proving the current can't be wrong. Electromagnetic symphony. Gerald and crash destiny. Lord of the Rings, really strong. Proving the current can't be wrong. Electromagnetic symphony. Gerald and crash destiny.
Welcome back, everybody, to Beneficence TV's pre-game show for the League of Extraordinary Inventors, which kicks off in about 30 minutes. We'll close it up here with some updates from Stephen Greer, and I wanted to take a look at one of the videos that's kind of been a staple in the free energy community regarding Tom Bearden and his testimony on for the Serious Disclosure event. That testimony plays looking at it in retrospect, because I've seen it a couple of times, and now looking at it with what I know about free energy and how it works a little bit in systems for practical applications, what he says is extremely important and very enlightening, and it makes complete sense. So with that, we're going to jump into a short video from Dr. Greer in his recent, I think he had a seminar talk, and he broke it down into different segments. We're just going to look at the segment where he talked about free energy.
Money from the, because they get government money. How do they do that instead of working outside the realm of typical government agencies?
He asked, how do they get the money from public coffers to run these sort of projects? It's actually a very good example of it is one of our witnesses who worked for SAIC, Science Applications International Corporation, in La Jolla, California, is the headquarters. And this is one of the crown jewels of the contracting entities that deal with this issue. And SAIC deals with many issues, but they sort of have companies within companies within companies. That's the way it's structured. And this particular witness, who's one of the Disclosure Project witnesses, was a woman who had been recruited to work for the company. And she was in a program that basically was a room and a bunch of file cabinets. And what she did, they took in millions of dollars based on a grant and or a proposal for funding research. It went into their office, went out the back door of the funds to a black project. And what she and the other people in the office did was gin up reports that would go back to the government and to the auditors that were completely bogus. And when she asked, where is this, what's the real research going on with this money, she was shown a file just full of these empty reports. So obviously that's fraud, but that is how they work. So for example, the B-2 stealth bomber might cost a few $100 million actually to build. They tell the Congress they cost $2 billion a piece.
So this is how the Pentagon often inflates their budget to get extra money for black projects like that. So they'll say, oh, this toilet costs $25,000. So when they actually buy the toilet at, whatever, $150, they have all that extra money to kind of utilize for whatever the hell they want. And it's kind of effed up, but that's the way the game is played. And if you're not aware, this is what we call industrial fascism. All right, it's Bedini with what Mussolini, Benito Mussolini described fascism as a successful unification of corporate and state power. This is how we see that play out in the 21st century as an evolution of fascism into industrial fascism, where you see, these key industry heads in industry, in certain sectors of industry that are intertwined with government in a way that provides them kind of like a swinging, sliding door between government and industry. So this allows them to funnel money into black budget projects and then hide technology under the guise of private industry, because at the end of the day, we protect private capital more than anything. If you have a strike at your place of work because the place of work is not safe,
The police are there to protect not you, but the Capitol. They're going to be sent in to protect the property of the industry that you're striking to get safer working conditions from. So this is very important to note, because the police have a monopoly on violence. That's what we call a monopoly on violence, okay? When you have absolute control over the situation, and you prioritize the safety of the employee over the, or you prioritize the capital over the safety of the employee. So, I mean, this is nothing new. This is, all been, foretold in the late stage of capitalism as laid out by Karl Marx in Das Kapital. So, the late stage of capitalism is interesting, and I don't think people could entirely predict that industry would kind of turn into fascism like this. But at the end of the day, that's what we have. We have industrial fascism.
Well, the other missing 1.3 billion goes into the EMGs, the electromagnetogravitics or other unacknowledged special access projects. So this is sort of just the way it is done. And because of the nature of top secret compartmented, top secret TSSCI, top secret special compartmented intelligence, when you get to the unacknowledged level, nobody unless you're in that compartment, you're not going to report anything out to any external person. I don't care who it is. Certainly not the Congressional Budget Office or the auditors at KPMG or whoever it is. They just don't report it out. It'll be reported out on these phony things. And this is why when Rumsfeld said there's $2.3 trillion unaccounted for. I mean, again, this was not a flaming liberal. It's not Abby Hoffman saying this. This is the Secretary of Defense for George W. Bush and Dick Cheney saying this. So, so if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe him, and that it's just unaccounted for. But that's how it's done. This one little example, so a lot of it is kind of overbilling and overcharging. You hear about these massive costs, 500% cost overruns, 1,000%. Well, it's not cost overruns per se. Part of it is that it's just going into a black project and being diverted. But not just Department of Defense and CIA. I have people who worked with the first Bush presidency, Bush Sr., who said that they were pulling money out of HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and other agencies. That would be things that were inflated prices that would then be siphoned off into black projects. And that is done routinely. And so, now, there's another way of doing it. I don't know if I should go into this or not. This is this is the dark end of it. Okay, so there, one of the meetings I had, it was right after we did the meetings in 1997 for members of Congress and for Admiral Wilson at the Pentagon, the J2, head of intelligence joint staff. I had a meeting with a former member of Congress and a senior executive with SAIC at Crystal City here near National Airport at this former congressman's condo. And this congressman had been for many years sort of a consigliere to George Bush Sr. And he said, "Do you understand how dangerous this group is?" I said, "Yes." He says, "But do you understand where a lot of their funding comes from?" I said, "I have a very good idea. Where are you going with this?" And the SAIC executive had recently retired and moved out of the country to France. And both these people asked me not to disclose their names, but this has put me under sodium pentothal. I'm telling you the truth here. They said, "Well, we use these anti-grav devices, and they launch wee hours of the night from various places, and they move billions, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of clandestine drugs and armaments around the world. And he said there is one group that is involved, it's like a small army, he said, of people of 8,000 men that have been involved in just moving contraband around the world because it's all cash and it's untraceable. And we have killed 2,000 of these men for minor infractions of security. Okay, this is not a conspiracy theory. These were two principals with firsthand knowledge of it, warning me.
So I just want to interrupt and update everybody. Yes, Nathan will be hosting League of Extraordinary Inventors for Free Energy Fridays tonight. But you don't have to go anywhere. You can stay on Beneficence TV. We will end this stream, but we will put up another live stream. Actually, it should be already up. If you guys want to pull up another tab and get ready for that, we're going to switch over in about maybe 25 minutes. Yeah. So, so that should be up. If you want to pull up another tab and open the League of Extraordinary Inventors podcast tonight, I believe we're going to be talking about drones. So, yeah. The headline that Nathan has chosen, the topic for the evening is, "Are alien drones in New Jersey?" This is interesting. I heard slight information about, I just very, very lightly touched on the subject while reading something the other day. So I'm going into this maybe 80% blind. I know drones were sighted. That's about it. I know drones were sighted, and people were kind of wondering if the media was reporting drones that were actually UFOs. So that's what I know. And I'm going to be interested in hearing about this update from Nathan and what he has to say on the subject, because aliens and extraterrestrial life has always been a favorite topic of mine. So with that, we're going to go back to Stephen Greer on the topic of free energy. And specifically, this clip is called "Free Energy Generation Control is Not What You Think."
Of what this group is really into. So one of the reasons, therefore, fast forward to another problem.
This really kind of talks about the industrial fascism aspect, and we'll go into that more with Tom Bearden in a minute.
Has been created so that by making it illegal, it not only keeps it criminalized, but it creates a domain where so these super black illegal operations can kind of pluck the low-hanging fruit and have a very large, I'm talking hundreds of billions of dollars of funding by being kind of integrated with these criminal enterprises. You know, now I'm not in favor of drug use, but I think it should be completely legalized for that reason. And that would just suck all, it won't be. Now, they'll wrap themselves in morality and public health and all this other stuff. They could care less. I mean, you know, any middle school kid can go to anywhere and get any drug they want in the DC area or even out in Virginia in the rural area I live in. It's so that it creates their own little monopoly, and it does. And this is not a conspiracy theory, because I have met with the principals who were involved in those operations. So that's another source of funding. Now, there's another source of funding.
So what he's saying is all absolutely true, but the key aspect that most people, including Dr. Greer, miss when analyzing the situation is the Marxian analysis of capitalism. And what I mean by that is what people like Greer will say the cause of the problem is corruption and cronyism, and, you know, people are just, you know, like greedy and corrupt. But Marx would ask another question on top of that and say, why are those greedy and corrupt people successful in the first place? What in the system made them successful and enabled them to be where they are, to make the decisions that they can, and with the power that they have? See what I'm saying?
So it's getting to the root of the issue and not just dancing around the top level of, people are just corrupt and some people are just bad, and there's more to it than that. Why are those people able to do what they can do, right? It's not just about, oh, some people are bad or corrupt. How did they get to the position that they got in? And you have to look at the root aspect of that and the dialectical analysis of the situation. So that's very important here that most people miss.
So we have the black budget of the United States government, 100, 200 billion a year. You have this clandestine and very dark criminal enterprise running drugs and armaments. And then you have another source, and that is, I call them the corporate spin-offs. Pieces of junk like this. The technologies.
To interrupt here for a minute, he's not wrong. When you know what we know, in terms of, I'm speaking specifically in terms of the fringe think tank. When you know what we know, how energy can just be ripped out of the vacuum for free, or nearly free, or very, very little cost. When you know how energy is just, inherently everywhere, easily tapped, these devices that constantly need to be recharged and you're constantly bogged down with, energy costs regarding, inefficiencies. It's just not, it's a manufactured environment, right? It's a lie. We don't need to rely on these inefficiencies that we have been for the last 100 years. It's just not the actual science of what's going on. We can extract energy from the vacuum pretty easily at very little cost and get a significant amount of power. And as we've seen with Mike Kay from Faraday's research, his device, his solid-state device, it's incredible. It doesn't require any input power, and it just outputs a constant, demand. So it's incredible, and that device can be stacked and utilized for, space travel. Say you need a spacesuit that needs its own, energy source of some sort, because you're going to be exploring a planet for a long time. I mean, it's very impractical to think, oh, we're going to be exploring a planet on the lithium batteries that we have that'll last us what, maybe, like 5 hours, 6 hours, and not power all the systems that we need to be able to power. Well, with the system that I have, we can potentially not only do that and power all the stuff that we need to on demand, at a whim, like with very, very little input to no input requirement for long periods of time. We can do that. Not only that, we can actually manipulate the coil, in my opinion, so that we can generate not just O3 but O2, and put that little coil system in your space travel suit or whatever, and you have a system, suit that will last you basically a lifetime. It will never wear down so much as the parts last, right? And that's, it's not to say like the parts will last forever, because they probably won't. Material science hasn't gotten that far, but still, it's going to last you a heck of a lot longer than our current energy and propulsion research areas. So it's just not feasible what we have now, and we know that extraterrestrials, and in my opinion, have been visiting us for a while. But we know that the government has admitted there are UFOs, there are craft that can travel faster than we can imagine. They're utilizing some kind of field propulsion. Regardless if they're extraterrestrial or not, we know that that's possible. And because we know it's possible, we know that there's a key aspect of science that we're either missing or ignoring. And with that, I'm going to continue the Greer lecture.
At Murray Hill facility, AT&T, in the early days.
Probably
Bell
won't have
Labs,
time for Tom Bearden, unfortunately,
Lockheed.
but we
There's a
will
lot of
watch that video
technologies
next stream.
that have been spun out of, as Colonel Corso said in The Day After Roswell, that were studied that have made their way into the public. By studying extraterrestrial materiel that have come from our downing of these aircraft, spacecraft. Those end up going first into these unacknowledged projects, but then they get moved into their corporate partners and then get monetized as a product. Fiber optic, integrated circuits, computerization, miniaturization, special material sciences, a lot, night vision technology. A lot of these things came out of those classified projects that were studying ET technologies. Now what they've held back are the energy generation and propulsion systems. But they have monetized and become enormously wealthy through these others that have been monetized. Now, we the taxpayers have paid for that research, but it ends up getting a patent and gets spun out as, look what we invented. Now, most people, you know, and it's interesting that this guy named Thiel, who was one of the co-founders of PayPal, I believe, recently said in an interview with Fareed Zakaria on CNN that there has been no real discoveries and progress technologically in 50 or 60 years. And this was on CNN. It still takes you the same amount of time to go from JFK to Paris now as it did in 1964, 50 years ago. And that basically what we've done is sort of tinker around the edges. Now, I know people, when they hear me say this, the people in Silicon Valley and who think they're high tech with this, I mean, we had telephones 100 and some years ago, so, are just like appalled. I said, yeah, but the internet was developed by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Administration. The technologies that are in here were spun out of these covert programs, and then people innovated them. They did innovation and applications, not discovery. So, and if you come up with a fundamental new discovery in science and technology that is really disruptive, i.e. free energy or something like that, it will be confiscated, either under a national security order or if it goes through the patent process through the patent law provisions for seizure. And if not that, they'll just flat out take it and tell you to be quiet or else. So
that's why we have to.
And that's true of people.
That's why we have to open source this stuff. You know, there are maybe people who can get away with doing what they're doing regarding monetizing and patenting, regarding specifically patenting their devices. But our device, we're going to continue to open source most of the technology that I develop. I will be selling devices and coils, though, for people who specifically can't build them themselves or don't have the time or the means. We are going to be selling, at least that's my intention. If we can get the Coil Kits Lab Shop off the ground, I'm going to be selling the Lightning Thief. I'm going to be selling the Green Machine, and also a Green Machine version with the coil included. You know, a small coil, so you don't have to have a coil. Basically just the power source. Yes, we will be switching over to League of Extraordinary Inventors in about 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So, guys, I have the link in the description, or I'm sorry, I have the link in the chat. I'm going to put it in there again for you, because we are switching over to the main show for League of Extraordinary Inventors in 2 minutes. So join us on the main show starting in 2 minutes. Okay? All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the pregame show.
I'll see you in a few minutes for the main show, League of Extraordinary Inventors, and we're going to be talking about aliens in New Jersey. All right. So I'll see you in a little bit.